The original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird. So we didn't do that this time. It's really not about the love story at all, which is really, really wonderful. And whether or not she finds love along the way is anybody's guess until 2024. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut, who knows?
Now listen, if Disney wants to make more woke films that tank at the box office, they are more than welcome to do that, but maybe think of an original idea. Maybe not destroy a classic from my childhood and put an actress in there that not only hates the plot and the storyline of the movie she's in, but also seemingly hates Snow White, the character herself.
After the Snow White movie was canceled, Gal Gadot came out and publicly discussed Rachel Zegler. In my opinion, Rachel Zegler has no talent at all. Her approach to the character deviated from the traditional essence of the character. For many fans, including myself, the changes felt drastic and took away from the nostalgic experience we were expecting. Every actor brings their uniqueness to a role, but it's also essential to honor the essence and legacy of iconic characters. If you don't like the story, don't take this seriously. It's strange and perplexing that the narrative focuses so much on her romantic relationship with a man who even stalks her. Now, if I were to dress up as a famous Disney princess for 18 hours straight, I would demand payment for each hour my performance is streamed online. It's crucial to fairly compensate your writers and actors. Despite just being in 2 films, I have received royalty checks that may surprise you. It's not like we look back on our early years of seeing Snow White, which was a smash in many nations, and then all of a sudden find ourselves in the spotlight. As is well known, Rachel Zegler hasn't held back from confronting her critics about the upcoming Snow White project. She has been outspoken and aggressive on social media, passionately defending her position and addressing people who don't seem excited about the film. One person took to Twitter to express the widespread dissatisfaction with Rachel Zegler's role in Snow White, implying that people of all political persuasions are weary of the overused strong female lead. Others ask, "Are you in a celebrated film adaptation but appear to have reservation questions about your own character?" Trope also brought attention to an alleged contradiction in Zegler's position by pointing out that a few years ago, Rachel Zegler rallied her fans against Gina Carano over a pronoun-related controversy. But Gina recently called Rachel dishonest after Rachel's tweet expressing a desire for a kinderworld. It seems that Rachel is now facing consequences for her past actions, but another person had a different opinion. Given the outrage, I assumed that Rachel Zegler had committed a grievous act, but it turns out that she simply did what countless male actors have done before with little to no backlash regarding the dynamics of the film. Many might consider it a romantic tale, especially given the inclusion of the admirable actor Andrew Burnap. On the other hand, it's notable that Gal Gadot hasn't publicly expressed any support for Rachel Zegler or even made a lengthy comment on Snow White when asked about it during discussions. Gadot seems to be just interested in the movie and her part in it, avoiding discussing the larger debates about the film's themes or societal ramifications. I found the original animation intimidating. I think I saw it once and never went back to see it again. She said that usually when an actor receives criticism for their performance, her peers support them to counter the criticism. But in this case, Gal Gadot doesn't seem to be involved in the drama that is developing. It's important to note that Gadot has previously expressed her displeasure with the way female characters are portrayed in modern cinema, advocating for authentic representation that distinguishes between male and female roles rather than a generic portrayal. Interestingly, the qualities she criticizes in today's strong female characters closely match the character of Snow White in the new adaptation. It's clear that she isn't fully supporting the movie. Her focus is primarily on the film. Her persona and acting skills stand in sharp contrast to Rachel Zegler's method, which is more combative and may not be the best way to create a favorable atmosphere around the movie, as she avoids getting involved in political disputes or delving into issues. Zegler has frequently engaged with fans in less than cordial ways, which could alienate the very following she is hoping will help launch the movie. The star who won the coveted Snow White part, Rachel Zegler, has undoubtedly caused a lot of controversy. Centers on her interactions with both supporters and detractors, and using social media as a platform for personal expression while remaining active and open. Zegler has broadened her audience by educating fans who might not agree with her viewpoint or the project. This becomes problematic given that she is only 22 years old and that her quick rise to multimillionaire status is admirable on the one hand, but it is also confusing when she tries to dictate fans' opinions, especially when contrasted with other actors in the industry who face financial hardships, some of whom may make a modest sum annually. Zegler's advocacy for additional compensation feels incongruous with some people. Her commitment to playing Snow White is undeniable, and she is heavily invested in giving the best portrayal. However, some people find it offensive that she should receive more recognition and compensation. Some members of the crowd and reviewers have not been fond of the perceived feeling of entitlement. Interestingly, it appears that her posture has unintentionally increased unfavorable feelings on the internet. Part of the reason for the growing criticism of the movie is Zegler's personality. By confronting fans and posting hostile tweets, she appears to be attracting more criticism. The movie's reception doesn't seem to benefit from this feedback cycle. On the other hand, it seems like a smart idea for co-stars like Gal Gadot to stay out of online arguments or political debates. Fans typically want performers to put the movie and their artistry first rather than getting involved in the hottest online debates. Notably, Gadot isn't new to controversy, as shown by the COVID-19 video incident and her comments on Wonder Woman, but what sets her apart is her willingness to take criticism from fans and work to get better. Fans value this adaptable attitude and openness to constructive criticism because it allows them to draw conclusions about the complex interactions between characters' beliefs and the complexities of the entertainment industry. Although it's clear that she isn't fully supporting the movie, Gal Gadot is intriguingly demonstrating how an artist should handle such circumstances. Her focus is primarily on the film. In sharp contrast to Rachel Zegler's more confrontational style, which may not be the best tactic for creating a pleasant atmosphere surrounding the movie, her character and acting skills avoid getting involved in political arguments or delving into issues. Zegler is frequently engaged with fans in less than kind ways, which could alienate the very people she wants would help launch the movie. The actress who won the coveted part of Snow White, Rachel Zegler, has undoubtedly caused a stir. One major area of dispute centers on how she interacts with both admirers and detractors. Yet being open and honest on social media may also serve as a platform for personal expression. Zegler has broadened her audience by educating fans who might not agree with her viewpoint or the project. This becomes problematic given that she is only 22 years old and her quick rise to multimillionaire status. On the one hand, this is admirable, but it is also confusing when she tries to dictate fans' opinions, especially when contrasted with other actors in the industry who face financial difficulties, as some of these actors may only make a small amount of money each year. Some find Zegler's call for further compensation to be incongruous. Zegler's devotion to playing Snow White is indisputable, and she has a lot of money invested in giving the best performance. However, some people think that her enthusiasm should be rewarded with more recognition and compensation. Some audience members and commentators have not gone over well with a perceived sense of entitlement. Interestingly, it appears that her posture has unintentionally increased unfavorable feelings on the internet. Part of the reason for the growing criticism of the movie is Zegler's personality. By confronting fans and posting hostile tweets, she appears to be attracting more criticism. The movie's reception doesn't seem to benefit from this feedback cycle. On the other hand, it seems like a smart idea for co-stars like Gal Gadot to stay out of internet arguments or political debates. Fans typically expect performers to put their artistry and the project first rather than becoming involved with the most tempest online debates. Notably, Gadot isn't new to controversy, as shown by the COVID-19 video incident and her comments about Wonder Woman. However, what sets her apart is her willingness to take in fan criticism and work towards improvement. Fans value this adaptable attitude and openness to constructive criticism, and extrapolating conclusions from the whole situation provides insights into the complex interactions between people's beliefs and the nuances of the entertainment. Global extracts from these discussions become popular on social media. When she spoke to the crowd at the Disney D23 Expo in September, Zegler explained, "I just want to emphasize that the year is no longer 1937. However, some people on TikTok selectively alter these footage, focusing in on specific segments without displaying the totality of her statements." In an interview with Extra TV, Zegler echoed her thoughts, pointing out the archaic gender roles prevalent in the 1937 original. She said that the modern version of Snow White would not rely on a principle for rescue, but rather that she envisioned Snow White as someone who seeks leadership motivated by the principles of being fearless, fair, brave, and true values instilled in her by her deceased father. The story centers on her romantic relationship with a man who basically stalks her relentlessly. Because of this oddity, we decided to take a different approach for our adaptation, which brings our video to a close. Thank you for watching.